Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Sharon, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take three! Take three!
Bane for three. Bingo! Desmond Bane heating it up. Blocked by Sharon.
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Anticipate each challenge, make a quick response, capitalize on every opportunity, and win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking from Midtown Manhattan, New York City. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready for a fun matchup between the Grizzlies and Spurs, because we got the first two such games in a span of 3 days tonight in San Antonio. Grizzlies versus Spurs. Tripp versus Wemby. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. Chris Vernon is the host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays noon, Grind City Media. Pop Sim Studios with me on Wednesday. Chris Vernon going to join me in about 20 minutes. When I finish talking to Vernon, we're going to take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Ole Miss got arguably the biggest win of the night last night in college basketball. Chris Beard's Rebels won at Alabama. That helps Memphis's resume, considering the Tigers already have a victory over Ole Miss. We'll applaud the Rebels. We'll do it in about 40 minutes. The night was not as good for Mississippi State. Christian's Bulldogs got smacked at Auburn. Maybe the Tigers are Bruce Pearl's Tigers, the best team in the country, even without Janai Broome, their best player and a National Player of the Year candidate. We'll get into that a little later on in the show. We got policy changes coming to Starbucks. It's over for you freeloaders. We'll tell you more about that. We'll do it in the third segment. We got a football coaching beef in the AAC. Long story short, the UAB coach is whining about other AAC schools having more NIL money than he has. And then the Tulane coach, he decided to quote tweet it, and jealousy exists in the AAC. I guess that's what I'm learning. We'll walk you through that in just a bit. And Fire Aid, the benefit concert, is coming to Los Angeles. 24 acts are expected to participate. Many millions of dollars will be raised. I'll give you more details. We'll do that during a segment we call 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 41 of a scheduled 82 is set for tonight in San Antonio. It's the first of 2 straight inside the Frost Bank Center. Let's stop here for a second. Bennett, what in the world is the Frost Bank Center? When did this happen? What do you think's going on down in San Antonio? When did they pull this rabbit out of their hat?
They threw us for a loop. Where did they used to play? The Alamo Dome? Center? No. Who played at the Alamo Dome?
Well, they have played at the Alamo Dome, Bennett. But
the Tigers played at the Alamo Dome.
Oh, I was sitting right there, Bennett.
Remember the Alamo Dome?
I'll never forget it long as I live, unless I get one of the memory loss diseases. Then I guess I'd probably forget it. Not that I could do about it at that point, right?
Yeah. So where did the Spurs used to play, you said?
AT&T Center. What you are thinking as the Alamo Dome was, the Alamo Dome, but also there's something there that was called the AT&T Center, and that's where they called home. But now they changed the name of their home. It's now the Frost Bank Center. What's happening, you think?
These banks, they really got a chokehold on these arenas, don't they? I mean, it seems like they're all called something bank these days, huh?
Yeah, the name change actually came in August 2023. So we missed this somehow. How you think we missed this?
And this is a big talking point on this show. We're big proponents of name your arenas things that we know what they are. Frost Bank, I mean, I'm not familiar with their work, but I mean that's pretty self-explanatory right there.
Yeah, it's a chilly bank.
It's a cold bank, yeah. So yeah.
It's not actually a cold bank. I don't know what the temperature is at Frost Bank.
I got you.
But wouldn't that be a nice little gimmick? At Frost Bank, it was just kind of cold.
Yeah, and you had Elsa there greeting people, and so that'd be cool. Right. I think you could get customers by doing that. So yeah.
I don't know if they're maximizing this whole Frost Bank name, but it is an American-based bank in San Antonio with 155 branches and more than 1,700 ATMs, Bennett. It's like their Bank of Bartlett, except bigger.
Gotcha. Okay.
Frost Bank is like their Bank of Bartlett, except they have more ATMs and more branches. That's what I gather.
I got you. Okay, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. I guess there was a game in the Frost Bank Center last season as well. I think I clocked out. I think I just last season. You ever hear about people who go through trauma and they're like, I don't even remember it. It's like I just something about that same thing happened last year.
Yes,
with the Grizzlies season. So it's possible I knew at some point last season that the AT&T Center had become the Frost Bank Center, but I have blocked all of that out of my memory. I don't even remember last year anything that happened in it.
I can't confirm or deny if this is true, but Eric in the chat says that the bank was founded by a dude named Frost who was a colonel for the Confederacy.
Oh no!
Wow.
Jeez, they didn't think this through, did they?
I mean, there's in there stuff named Robert E. Lee. I mean that I think that
I know, but I think we're trying to do away with that.
People getting rid of that stuff. Oh, okay.
I mean, well, I don't mean to hit you with this news. I don't want you to run out in the middle of the show and start protesting. But yes, I think we are sort of trying to get away from Confederate statues and names in general. I think that's something.
Fair enough.
But maybe we're back. I don't know. I watched those hearings yesterday. Maybe we're back.
Yeah,
I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't either.
Maybe you could put the statues back up now. I don't really know what's going on.
Okay,
I'm not real sure. But Frost Bank, it's like their Bank of Bartlett, except bigger. That's what I wanted you to learn from this.
Gotcha.
Grizz at Spurs tonight, and then Grizz at Spurs again on Friday night, and that one will be on the big stage that ESPN provides. Right now, the Grizz are the 3 seed in the West. Spurs are the 10 seed in the West. So this is a little two game set. Between 2 Western Conference franchises currently in position to make the postseason, and also 2 franchises being led by unicorns. Bennett, do you like unicorns? How do you feel about unicorns?
Big fan of unicorns. Big fan of unicorns as a father of young children. Unicorns are cool, right? So that's what you're all drawing pictures of and stuff like that. So yeah, we like unicorns.
Your little boys are sitting around drawing pictures of unicorns, you said?
I mean, the one that can draw, sure, yeah. And then a typical thing that you would draw as a child, a unicorn.
I don't ever remember drawing a unicorn, not me personally, but maybe. Times have changed.
I think I drew unicorns.
Hey, times have changed.
Yeah.
I don't think I was sitting around drawing unicorns when I was a kid, but times have changed.
Gotcha. These 2 are interesting, man. I don't love these back-to-back on the road against the same team. I don't love that in general. I hate it when it happens with the Grizzlies too. I just don't love the back-to-backs against the same team. I wish that the NBA would do away with that. And this is an important stretch because, like you said, the Spurs, they're looking to get above 500 tonight. They're solidly in the postseason right now. They're in the play-in, right? And yeah, I just don't think that this isn't a bad team the Grizzlies are going up against. It's a team the Grizzlies should beat, but it's going to be tough on the road, man.
Got 2 unicorns on the court tonight.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Jaren Jackson Jr., that's a unicorn, 6'10" forward who seems bigger but listed at 6'10", averaging 22.8 points, 6.4 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 1.7 blocks, 1.5 steals in 29.3 minutes per game. He's having an all-star and likely all-NBA type of season. On the other side, the dude who is looking like a future GOAT, Victor Wembanyama, 7'3" alien, averaging 25.1 points, 10.7 rebounds, 3.9 blocks, 3.8 assists, 1.1 steals in 33.2 minutes per game. He's having an all-star and undeniably all-NBA level season. So what we got tonight is a matchup between 2 division rivals led by unicorns who are currently slotted to be postseason participants. That's what we're doing tonight, Big Bet Bennett, and then we're going to do it again on Friday night. I don't know why you don't like this. I like this. You get to play one game, see what's going on, make some adjustments, come back, do it again. The second one's on a Friday night. I know how you like to get loose on a Friday night. You ready to get loose?
I am ready to get loose on a Friday night. No, I'm just, they're desperate right now. Like, they're right there with Phoenix and Golden State for that 10th seed. So and they're looking to get above 500. Like I said, so this is gonna be tough, dude. The Grizzlies got to take this one seriously. You're not just playing like the crappy Spurs anymore. I think that they're starting to possibly ascend with Victor.
There appears to be some ascension.
Yeah.
Both with Wembanyama and the Spurs franchise, broadly speaking. Of course, it won't be simple, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It's a game against Victor Wembanyama. It's a game against a possible future GOAT. I'm going to enjoy it, Bennett. You could be stressed out if you want to. I'm going to enjoy it.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll try not to be. I'm always stressed out, though, about these games.
I'm going to try to enjoy it. I'm just going to try to have fun. By the way, did you see Sam Vecenie's updated rookie rankings? He had those at the Athletic/New York Times. Did you see Sam Vecenie's updated rookie rankings? I think you'll like them if I tell you about them.
I have not, but I'm gonna say let me go ahead and make a guess.
I'll make a guess.
I'm gonna say that Jalen Wells and Zach Edey are both in the top 5.
Correct.
I'm gonna say that number 1 is. Well, remember it was Missy for a while. He got up in there at number 1, so he's got to be in the top 5 still, right?
I only look at the top 2 because that's the only place I needed to look.
So it's Jalen and Zach, 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Number 1, Jalen Wells. Number 2, Zach Edey.
That's awesome.
It is, and I think something that's worth remembering. I know the Grizz are coming off of a disappointing loss at Houston that dropped them to 3-9 against top 7 teams in the West. I talked about it for like 20 minutes yesterday. Mm-hmm. I don't like that either. But don't ever forget the Grizzlies are still 25-15, alone in 3rd in the West, while starting 2 rookies, one of whom was selected 39th in the 2024 NBA draft after being the 3rd leading scorer on a Washington State team that was a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament that was played less than a year ago.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because there is a little bit of sky is falling going on right now around here, and I'm not here for that. Like that was a disappointing loss to the Rockets, but come on, man. Like
when you say sky is falling around here, do you mean in the city of Memphis or specifically on the 4th floor of our building?
No, not specifically on. I think everybody here is feeling pretty good. No, I thought that there was a lot of negativity after the Houston game. And look, rightfully so, like you lost 3 games to them this season. Like you don't want that. Like that's a team that you're neck and neck with for the top spots in the West. So I get it, but I don't know, man. Let's move on. Like this team's still really good. I think everything's going to be okay. I think.
Get into the history books. You're not going to find many contenders that were starting 2 rookies.
No.
All right? But the Grizzlies are starting 2 rookies, and the Grizzlies are by definition contenders. You don't have to take my word for it. Trust the betting markets. The Grizzlies right now have the 7th best odds to win the NBA title, according to FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Right now, the Grizzlies had the 7th best odds to win the NBA title while starting 2 rookies, one of whom was selected 39th less than a year ago after being the 3rd leading scorer on a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament that was played less than a year ago. So, I get frustrated with the ups and downs of every day just like anybody else, but if you ever lose sight of that, you've just really lost sight of the big picture. Things are okay. Ja and Jaren and Dez have barely played together. Certainly not played together as much as we'd have hoped, or that we hope will be the case throughout the rest of the season. You're still sitting at 25-15. You're still alone in 3rd in the West. What if I'd have told you before this season started that Ja, Jaren, and Dez would barely play together through the first 40 games, but you'd still win 25 of the first 40, and you would do it largely by starting 2 rookies. Starting 2 rookies, what happened to Vince Williams? Oh, he's been hurt the whole season. Oh, well, what happened to G.G. Jackson then? Hasn't played at all. If I told you all of this,
playing tonight.
If all of this were true, if all of this were real things that I told you in early October, you'd have been 25-15, alone in 3rd in the West. You sign me up for that.
Yep, I'll take it.
And yet this is where we are under the exact circumstances I just explained, and some people still just worked up all day long, every single day. It's just not the way I'm going to live my life, Bennett.
No, and the second half of the season starts now, and so I think I am with the fan base, and I want all these guys to be able to play a bunch of games together and really go for one of these top seeds in the West, and obviously make a big playoff push. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good about where they are right now.
John, Jaren, and Dez have barely played together.
That's right.
Your 2 young wings that you think are going to be great, barely played. You're starting 2 rookies, and you still have the 7th best odds to win the NBA title right now, according to FanDuel. 7th best in the entire league. Better odds right now than, you got a second? Let me run you through some teams.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks, Wolves, Clippers, Rockets, Warriors, Sixers, Lakers, Suns, Pacers, Kings, Heat, Hawks, and Spurs. I don't think I need to keep going. You get the point.
Yeah.
So I get that it's easy to get frustrated with turnovers and missed free throws and weird lineups and stars on the bench in the 4th quarter of games that are still up in the air. But again, big picture, the Grizzlies are 25-15, alone in 3rd in the West, 7th best odds in the league to win the 2025 NBA championship, despite starting 2 rookies, including one who was the 3rd leading scorer on a team that was a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament less than a year ago. I guess it could be better, but I know it could be worse. Buddy, just trust me. I know it could be worse.
Yeah, we've been there.
Chris Vernon. Chris Vernon is up next.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
On January 20th, join the Memphis Grizzlies as we honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This year, we honor those who have carried out his vision with the 20th Annual National Civil Rights Museum Sports Legacy Award. The 23rd Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Game versus the Minnesota Timberwolves is brought to you by Ford and your Mid-South Ford dealers.
It's your turn to drive into luxury at Southland Casino Hotel. Join us on Saturdays to win your share of up to $1 million in free play and prizes. And don't miss the chance to take home luxury itself during the grand finale drawings. Drive off in a 2025 Land Rover on February 1st or a 2025 Range Rover on March 1st. 2 vehicles, 2 finales, 1 million ways to enjoy luxury only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York City. Ben Doyle back in Memphis inside the Built Ford Tough Studio, FedEx Forum. Chris Vernon is the host of the Chris Vernon Show, weekdays, noon, Grind City Media. Look at him. He's in my seat. I miss that seat. You sit in that seat more than I sit in that seat now.
I feel like that's true. Yeah,
I think it's probably true.
You just set up in a hotel, living the life in New York City.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Yeah, and you don't have anybody to talk to. Like, I was just, like, right before I came in here, I was talking to Rosa, who's out there, and I don't know, I don't think you guys have mentioned this yet, but he was telling me he's got a hustle game tonight, and it's the same time as the Grizzly game, and I was like, can I watch it? And he's like, yeah, it's going to be on ESPN Plus, and I was like, well, that's great, so I can have one of the TVs on that, and the reason, obviously, I would support my guy either way, he's like, I actually think even though it's a Grizzlies game night, there's going to be a good crowd there. They've evidently announced that Gigi's playing tonight.
That's right. In fact,
playing for the hustle. So that's good.
Fact, you ready? CBSSports.com. I'm reading right now. I'll just read you exactly what it says in the story posted right now at CBSSports.com. It said, according to John Roser of the Grizzlies Radio Network.
Stop.
I swear to God, Jackson is scheduled to play for the Hustle on Wednesdays. Yes, according to John Roser of the Grizzlies Radio Network, Jackson is scheduled to play for the Hustle in Wednesday's game against the Rip City Remix.
Oh, wow. Well, and then he was telling me that there is a kid. So here's your neck of the woods. He was saying not only is Gigi playing, so there could be a good crowd for that. Like there'll be a bigger crowd than normal because Gigi Jackson's playing. He said there's a kid that played at South Haven who's really good that plays for the opposing team.
Let me look it up.
I can't remember his name. Forgive me.
I'll get
Roser, if you're watching, run in here real quick. He's right next door. He told me who the kid was, and I was wondering if you remembered if you heard the name. Taze Moore. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, he played at Houston. He played for Kelvin Sampson.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he played in South Haven in high school?
He played at South Haven High School. That's right. And how about this? I don't remember him at all at South Haven High School. I don't remember hearing about him, honestly, until I was doing a Houston game, and I was, I think, on the sideline and just prepping.
Kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah, and so first it's like, oh, Taze Moore. Then you learn very quickly it's not Taze. Hey, Roser, make sure you got it. It's Taze. Taze Moore. Taze Moore. And then it's like, where's he from? South Haven? He's from down the street?
Wow.
He's from... Yeah, so a wonderful story.
And so, the point is, not only do you have Gigi Jackson, who is going to be in uniform, this kid is evidently good, and, I mean, what a dream for him. If he grew up and played at South Haven, I mean, this kid should have a really, really good crowd there.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's quite literally playing a professional basketball game in his hometown.
And he's good. Awesome. Like, he's not like a guy that might get in the game. Like, he's a good player for them.
Yeah. So
kind of cool.
No, it is cool. It'll be a fun night. Let's get to the Grizzlies.
Yep.
So Bennett says he doesn't like it when teams play each other in back-to-backs like this, a game on a Wednesday and a game on a Friday. I sort of like it. I like the adjustments. I like that after the first game you get to ask the coaches and the players what happened and then see how they adapt for the next game. It feels like mini playoff stuff to me. I enjoy it.
I love it. And for that very reason, very rarely during the course of the season do you get the opportunity to mimic what that would be like. We see it a little bit when it comes to, we got a glimpse of it with that in-season tournament, but these are your only chances, which is we saw them, now we're going to adjust, likewise, the other team is going to adjust. I think it's very instructive, and it's the only chance that you get to duplicate that kind of playoff feel where you are playing the same team. We saw this earlier with the home and home against Denver, and it did not go the Grizzlies' way. Remember in that second one where Denver clipped them, where Russell Westbrook was outstanding in that second game. But I do think that those things, I think that it's good for the team to get to see somebody twice, because otherwise that never happens until you get to the spring. What's wrong? Who cares what Bennett thinks? Come on, his kids are drawing unicorns.
It's boring. I don't know. I like playing different teams every night.
Vernon, times have changed, all right? Just because you didn't grow up drawing unicorns doesn't mean Bennett's son can't. Times have changed.
What's wrong with unicorns?
Sissy.
Nothing's wrong with
James
unicorns.
Wiseman had a unicorn on it when he.
Yeah, how does it turn out for him?
Yeah, how did it turn out for him? How did that turn out?
Bad example, Bennett.
Checkmate.
Nothing wrong with unicorns.
Checkmate. You just said you want your son to grow up to be James Wiseman.
No, James Wiseman's got a pocket full of money.
Rich. What are we talking about?
He's got a pocket full of money. You got a chance of your kid being his agent. Something like that. Come on. Our kids are not being professional athletes, bro. Look at us.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's nobody who has parents that look like us that plays professionally.
Bennett wants. They never go to somebody's dad in the crowd at an NBA game and he looks like me.
I told the story the other day. I might have ruined my son forever when we went to go see Cooper Flagg a couple of years ago when he was 16 years old, and that wasn't the hard. I mean, obviously, look, we saw Cooper Flagg block 12 shots in a game. Okay, so he was otherworldly. A lot of the kids that were on the main team with Cooper Flagg did look like my son. The problem was when we walked in the gym, I was like, hey, let's go see Curtis Givens' kid. So the kid that's at North Carolina, Elliot Cadeau, is playing on one court, and then on the other court is Curtis Givens, his kid. And so we go over to Curtis Givens' game. And we walk in, that's the first thing we see. And on the first possession we watch, John Bowl, who is now at Ole Miss, blocks 5 shots on one possession. Like kids routinely, like driving in, they're getting close, and then they throw something up, and he just swats it back. And then they drive it again, and he swats it back. And I looked over at him, and I said, you would never score in life on him. He's like 7'2". I was like, this is a high school kid? You got to be kidding me.
No, Williams' best bet was for you guys to move to Maine.
No.
And he could have been high school teammates with Cooper Flagg, but that was the best it was ever going to get.
Or transfer to North Point where your kids go.
Yeah. You come down, buddy, you're going to have a hard time making the baseball team, but you can get in the starting lineup of the basketball team, no problem. Hey, you ain't gonna make the golf cut,
no,
all right?
No.
But can you play quarterback? Can you cover a receiver? Then we got a job for you.
Oh man, no, I mean, like honestly, I would encourage. It's very instructive for all of you parents that have like a real head on your shoulders and are not completely delusional. Yeah. Next time the EYBL is in Memphis, go to the Memphis Event Center. And I want you to watch it. And I want you to watch the 60 teams that are in town. And you see them from Atlanta, and you see them from California, and you see the Oakland Soldiers, you see whatever. And then look around, and then you will get the biggest reality pill. And then you think there's 40 countries that are producing players. There's 60 spots in the draft. And you look around, and you're like, okay. Hold on now. So if there's 60 spots.
No. You know what I'm trying to – here's what I'm trying to teach my kids. We're going to be so focused and so dedicated to what we're doing that we can be successful enough to attend Major League Baseball games and NBA games. We want to be able to.
Maybe we can buy season tickets.
That's what we want to do.
That's the goal.
Yeah, the goal. We ain't trying to play anything. It's the same thing with all these sports. Like, if you think your little kid's good at baseball, ask somebody who actually lives in that world and tell them to tell you where to go to watch kids who are really good at baseball, and you'll see it's different. It's a different thing. There's a whole different world out there.
That EYBL thing is bananas.
Oh, it's crazy.
You can't believe the size of these guys. And now, I've been talking to Rosa and Devin a bunch about this throughout this year, that and it really struck me as I was watching Jonathan Gavoni's, top 100 that he puts out. Bro, there ain't going to be nobody in the NBA under 6'5" in 4 or 5 years. Right. You look up and down. To be a small guard, you're going to have to be Jalen Brunson, Ja Morant. You're going to have to be unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. Otherwise, being a small guard is the most impossible thing to be and make the NBA, especially when you look at the prospects now. Then you see that freako that's at Rutgers right now, Dylan Hart. They're all huge.
Yeah,
they're all the 6'5", 6'6" kids are playing point guard, right? They're all a bunch of Gilgeous Alexanders.
Well, just as recently as a few years ago, you could, I guess, reasonably select Kennedy Chandler, even though he's under 6 feet.
Right.
I don't know that he would get drafted again now.
Well,
or not him specifically, but somebody like him.
Right.
I don't know if somebody like him would get picked again.
No, it's hard. I mean, I guess you probably could say they would just based on talent. The kid from Houston, and he's getting to play a little bit, Jamal Shed, who I really loved in college. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Sears, from Alabama. And there might be some here and there, but one of the things that's always stuck out to me when the Grizzlies drafted Kennedy Chandler, a guy who was on the staff at the time, we went out one night after one of the games at Summer League, and I asked him, I said, "What do you think about Kennedy? You think he's going to be able to make it?" And I'll tell you who it was. It was Brad Jones. And he still consults with the team. But Brad told me, because I'm not speaking out of school here, he would stand by this. He said, Jerry Sloan told me this once upon a time, and I've never forgotten it. If you are the smallest guy on the team, you have to be the hardest working guy on the team. And so time will tell. And that was not a demerit on Kennedy. It was just basically saying it's hard to be that size in the NBA. You have to do so much more, and you have to be the hardest worker on the team, or else you're just not going to make it at that size.
Well, one guy who doesn't have to worry about that is Victor Wembanyama. He'll be on the court tonight against the Grizzlies. He's 7'4". Catch me up on where we are in the Wembanyama story right now. January 15th, 2024. Victor Wembanyama is one of the best number players in the world?
Okay, so I always look at this differently. I think you have to, when you're ranking those guys, you have to do it on merit. You have to do it on merit, okay? And you have to say, here's what they have accomplished thus far. Here's what they could accomplish. But I think you're going to look at the NBA at the end of the year, and he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's going to be All-NBA. And I think so at that point, at the very least, you're top 15, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I think when it comes down to it, okay? The difference between where I would rank him if you are just ranking players within the league and what they've done, accomplished thus far, and what they've accomplished this year. And I used this years ago when Zion was taking off and it looked like Zion is going to be. There's a difference between me ranking who the best players are, probably, and I always view it through the prism of if you and I were playing pickup and we line everybody up on a wall. At what point does Wembanyama go? And there's a less than 0% chance he makes it to the 10th pick. There's no way. Okay, so now again, does that mean he's one of the 10 best players in the league? Maybe not, because he's probably not ready to be the guy on a team that wins playoff games, right? But there's no doubt that will come. There's no doubt that will come. And he is absolutely awesome. Like, he's awesome already, but he's figuring it out. You know, he still doesn't, like, you know, the go-to move. And there's going to be, it's just the maturation of a basketball player. I don't know how you can watch him, though, and go, bro, and like, it's going to be sooner than later that he is the biggest problem in the NBA by a wide margin. Because the way he affects the game defensively and the way he can potentially affect the game offensively is just, I mean, it's like, honestly, nothing we have ever seen. And I know you mentioned, you know, Jaren and Wemby tonight, because obviously those are the two guys that are the most credentialed, obviously, two of the best defensive players in the league, both very long. But I saw this morning, which is something we should promote, we'll get to see Edie and Wemby, which are the two tallest players in the NBA. When do we ever get to say they are literally the two tallest in the league?
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, there's tons of fun stuff all over the court, and then on the sideline, it's going to look different. I don't know if this is in everybody's head every day as you're following the NBA, but the Spurs are going to be without Greg Popovich, who reportedly suffered a stroke earlier in the season. He remains away from the franchise. I know they have said they expect him to return to coaching. Do we expect him to return to coaching?
Yeah, he says he is. He says he is. So, I mean, again, I don't know what his medical condition is, but he even put out a statement a couple of weeks ago, and he said he's going to come back. And so if he says he's going to come back, what do I know, right? I don't know. I don't know what his capabilities are. Before I get out of here, I got to ask you college basketball stuff, because so on one TV I had the TGL thing on because I was trying to keep up with that. And then I flipped on, the one I settled in on was Mississippi State Auburn.
Right.
Now, I watched Mississippi State and came in here right afterwards into my show and said, that's the first team Memphis has played where I was like, bro, if a fight broke out, we would be in big trouble, because they got dudes. Like, they got dogs, they got athletes. There was one play against Memphis where kid missed a layup. One kid tried to follow it and missed it at the rim, and then the third one came in like hung on the rim, and I was like, yeah. It reminded me a little bit of A&M last year, right? Where it's just like athletes on. Like, you ain't out athleting that team. Bro, they got smashed by Auburn last night. And I loved Auburn with Janai Broome earlier this year, and good grief. Like, I just have to reevaluate where Auburn is, because that kid is the best.
Yes. I mean,
that kid is the best. I live bet Mississippi State plus 11 because I was like, they ain't got Broome, and I know it's a hot start, but the wave will go by, whatever. And there was never a moment where I thought Mississippi State had a prayer. They could have lost the game by 40.
They were down 10-0 to start the game and never a threat at any point. And what's remarkable about it, there's two different things. One is that even without Janai Broome, Auburn was a 7.5-point favorite at tip-off over a top 15 team. So just like in the computers, they're still awesome without Janai Broome. And then they went out and win the game by 22, never threatened. That's a top 15 team that won at Memphis. Mississippi State did to Memphis what Auburn did to Mississippi State last night. That was as impressive as anything that happened.
Except with their best player. Like,
yes.
I just sit there going, bro, you get to put the best player possibly in the country into the mix with that? Like, I never thought I would see them without him and they would look like that.
No, me neither.
They were unbelievable.
Earlier in the week, I wrote that I believed Auburn should be ranked number 1 based on the resume and the body of work. I don't believe in punishing teams for injuries unless it's Florida State football last season. Then I do.
And look, that one happened. But that one happened. But the other ones that took place, Missouri getting a win was good for Memphis, for sure, right? Like them getting a weird win against Florida. And then obviously Ole Miss getting that win. Like there was you can look at it and go, all right, well, but I mean, you know, Memphis played both of those teams and lost to both of them, so that one really doesn't hurt. Like, I don't think
I mean, it's Mississippi State takes a loss, but the Auburn team that beat you gets a great win. Ole Miss winning at Florida Ole Miss winning at Alabama helps you. Missouri winning at Florida helps you. And the thing I was going to say about Auburn, I said earlier in the week, I thought they deserved their number 1 ranking despite the injury, but I didn't really believe they were the best team without their best player. That's not usually the way basketball works. Like take the Grizzlies' best player off of its team, things get harder. They might be the best team in the country without Johni Broome, which is crazy to think about. And I don't actually believe that still, but they looked at last night. That's the point.
I'll tell you this. I watched that game, and a lot of times you go, oh, that team's overrated, or that team isn't as good as I thought. Like, I never got that sense with Mississippi State. I really watched that game going, dude, this Auburn team is unbelievable. Like, I didn't walk away thinking less of Mississippi State, and they got bombed out by that team. That was crazy.
Insane. Hey, last thing before I let you go. You mentioned the golf thing last night on TV. I had it on once again. Tiger played. I watched the introductions just because I enjoy stuff like that. They need to hire somebody from WWE to help them with the introductions. That's got to pop a little better. Would you agree?
Maybe so. I mean, honestly, like I don't know. I don't know if I caught the intro. I saw the Tiger walk out to Eye of the Tiger, whatever, but the craziest thing is that Tiger put this whole thing together and then gave himself by far the worst team.
Right. It looks like he just put his buddies on the team.
Well, no, him and Kevin Kisner, they don't even play full-time golf.
I know.
They're not full-time golf. Like, Max Homa's the only one that plays full-time golf. Kisner was hitting it like you and me. Yeah, he couldn't even, like, he didn't even, like, they put the stats on the bottom.
Yeah.
Bro, you play with guys that have 160 ball speed.
Right.
Like, Kisner can't even get through the ball anymore. It was crazy.
Yeah, no.
I just think he doesn't play golf. Like, he now is broadcasting and stuff, and it's like, this is crazy. You live in a world now where all these guys are, like, working out with that Colby Wayne guy in Florida, and they're all doing this speed stack training, and they're all, like, working on their core every day, and they're all going to the – they've got now on tour, they've got like these basically travel gyms that are set up for these guys, and all of them are hardcore about it. And then you have like Kevin Kisner, like he probably hasn't, I bet he has not stretched, lifted a weight, or done anything in forever. And then you're going to put him out there on national TV teamed up with Tiger. It's crazy.
Everybody I know who is just sort of like in the golf world a little bit has 3 Kevin Kisner stories.
Yeah,
every one of them.
And they all love him.
Yes. That's how he ends up in this thing. I think they really just hey, let's have Kevin around. He's fun. That's how he ends up on this team.
But they're playing against 3 like legitimately awesome golfers. right? It's like Colin Morikawa, Heath Theegala, and Justin Rose.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't just have a guy that like doesn't – I get it. He used to play. But, I mean, I wouldn't very well put David Duval in the thing either. I mean, he used to play too.
Outrageous. All right, Verno, we'll see you at noon over in the big studio. Bye-bye. That's Chris Vernon. He'll be hosting the Chris Vernon Show. That'll happen at noon, Grind City Media. When we come back, we'll touch on the college basketball stuff just a little bit more. Also, we got policy changes coming to Starbucks. It's over for you freeloaders. Things are changing at Starbucks. We'll tell you about it next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Sharon, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take 3! Take 3! Bane for 3. Bingo!
Desmond Bane heating it up.
Blocked by Sharon!
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
On January 20th, join the Memphis Grizzlies as we honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This year, we honor those who have carried out his vision with the 20th Annual National Civil Rights Museum Sports Legacy Award. The 23rd Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Game versus the Minnesota Timberwolves is brought to you by Ford and your Mid-South Ford dealers.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings and even on Saturdays. But next time, an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life. Visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
All right. I didn't know we were going to talk college basketball stuff with Vernon, so I got college basketball stuff in 5 more things. Forgive me. We won't spend too much more time on it, but it was a big development in Tuscaloosa last night. Ole Miss 74, Alabama 64. Chris Beard's Rebels 15-2 now. They couldn't win in FedEx Forum, but they could win in Tuscaloosa. It's a win over a team, Alabama team that was ranked 4th in the country in the AP poll, meaning what you watched last night, Bennett, that was the first road win over a top 5 team in the history of the Ole Miss men's basketball program. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that checks. Yeah, that makes sense. No, man, that when they hired him, like I think you agreed, like that's a great hire for Ole Miss. I don't know how long they'll be able to keep him there, but that's yeah. I mean, he's got that thing rolling, and it's awesome for Memphis, obviously too. Like this, your wins are your good wins in the non-conference. Are starting to look really good, right? Like some of them are starting to look like really good wins that are going to stay good come selection time.
Yeah, that Ole Miss going on the road and beating a top 5 team, given that they couldn't come into your building and beat you, or at least they didn't come into your building and beat you. That's great for Memphis. So Ole Miss is now 15-2. I've got them up to number 15 in the top 25 and 1. Like I mentioned, first road win over a top 5 team in the history of the program. You realize Chris Beard does this everywhere he coaches, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if AI is advanced enough yet to provide all of the answers, but if it were possible to ask AI to immediately spit out all of the things that Chris Beard is responsible for doing at different universities for the first time, like he's the first guy at this school to ever do this. He's the first guy at this school to ever do that. Like if it was possible for AI to spit all of that stuff out, you'd have a list that is pretty long. And I know this is where somebody gets in and types their jokes, right? So type away. I get it. But the guy is an elite basketball coach. And this is why you take the PR hit, temporary or otherwise. And I'm not even saying that you should take the PR hit. I want to be very clear about that. I'm just saying when you decide you're willing to do it, this is why. Yeah. Because you're hiring one of the best basketball coaches in the entire country. And you're exactly right, Bennett. This will go from, in a matter of a few years, a conversation about whether Ole Miss should hire Chris Beard given what caused him to lose his job at Texas. We're going to go from that conversation. That was a conversation. Should they even do it? The next conversation will be, how do they keep him?
Mm-hmm.
The first conversation, should they even do it? They obviously did. The next conversation will be, how do you keep him from leaving? Because Indiana got smacked around at home last night by 25. It's 2 straight losses for Indiana by 25 points in a span of 4 days.
They're ready to move on.
Yeah, that Indiana job's going to open at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Indiana will be asking itself, perhaps, the same question that Ole Miss was asking itself a couple years ago. Should we do it? Can we do it? What the pros? What's the cons? They may set their sights elsewhere first. Sure, they'll call Brad Stevens. Scott Drew's from Indiana. But Brad Stevens has turned down every college job since he's left college. Turned down a lot of them while he was at Butler. Scott Drew has already turned down Kentucky and Louisville as recently as last offseason. I know he's from Indiana, but his father now lives in Phoenix because his brother now coaches at Grand Canyon University. So it's not like family's back in Indiana, or at least his father and brother aren't back in Indiana. I don't know what the state of Indiana or Indiana basketball means to Scott Drew in the year 2025, given that he's won a national championship in Baylor and going to have his name on stuff on that campus when he retires. That'll be something Scott Drew's got to figure out on his own. But if I were Indiana, I would have a backup plan other than Brad Stevens and Scott Drew. And if you start working on backup plans, if I were in charge, you'd get to Chris Beard pretty quickly. So I'm not trying to run him out of Oxford. Honestly, I love him being at Ole Miss. I've been down there a couple times already this season. He's running an incredible program. I like him there. But, yeah, if he keeps winning like this and doing things like this, Ole Miss is going to have to fight off suitors to keep him in Oxford, because if he keeps winning like this, doing things like this, he's going to have suitors.
Number 2.
Like we mentioned, we're talking to Vernon. Great night for Ole Miss. Not so great for Mississippi State. Nothing new to say about this that we didn't say in the last segment. Chris Jan's Bulldogs are good. You saw them come into FedEx Forum and beat Memphis. This is a team that was ranked in the top 15 of the AP poll heading into the game. Technically still ranked in the top 15 of the AP poll. And they went to Auburn and just got blasted, and Auburn doesn't even have its best player. Janai Broome suffered an ankle sprain over the weekend in a win at South Carolina. He was in a boot, street clothes last night. Auburn jumped on him 10-0 to start the game and just cruised to the 22-point victory. 22-point win over a top 15 team when you don't even have your best player. Earlier in the week, like I said, I thought Auburn deserved to move to number 1 in the AP poll based off the resume, but I didn't really believe Auburn was the best team in the country without Janai Broome. And I don't know that I believe that now, but I'm closer to believing it now than I did this time yesterday, because last night, at least for 40 minutes against Mississippi State, they look like they could be the best team in the country, even without Janai Broome.
Yeah. Vernon said he live bet Mississippi State during that game when it was like, I did as well.
Yeah, so you had plus 7.5, and then you jumped in and, I can get it at plus 11 now. Oh, I can get it at plus 13 now. I know that. I know that's called spiraling.
It was a spiral. Well, I had a lot connected. It was the biggest game yesterday. I think that my pick was justified. Like, again, you thought the same thing. Like, I mean, come on. Like, Mississippi State's a good team. Auburn doesn't have their best player. It'll be a competitive game.
Yeah, I mean, you were down 10-0 like 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, I know as somebody who is now negative 19.2 units, I know you know this.
Yeah.
But I think you would agree the smartest thing any gambler can do once a bad bet starts going bad is just you want to double up on it and triple up on it and
for
just
sure.
keep chasing it.
Yeah, you gotta.
I think that's what the smart people tell you to do.
It's all about getting the momentum back.
Yeah, you just got to keep throwing money at it and hoping it'll turn around.
That's right.
It almost certainly will. You'll probably get all your money back doing it that way, right?
Just keep going. You got
to keep going. Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop. I know you take Mississippi State plus 7.5. You're down 10-0. You're like, woo. Some people would say, okay, stop.
Yeah.
But other people would say, never.
No.
Never stop.
Got to keep going.
I appreciate that, Bennett.
We'll get back on track.
You might have lost your kids' vacation money last night, but at least you didn't quit.
Likely.
You know, at least you didn't quit.
Never give up.
At least you didn't quit. You got to focus on the positive. At least you didn't quit. Never give up, right?
Yeah.
That's what they tell you.
Never
That's what
give
they
up.
tell you when you get bad news. They say, hey, buddy, don't give up. Last night was a great example of you not giving up. Should you have? Yes, they got the shit kicked out of them. You should have definitely given up. But you didn't, and I respect that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Number 3.
We got policy changes coming to Starbucks. Starbucks said enough of you freeloaders coming in here and getting our Wi-Fi, streaming your little TikToks. Enough of that nonsense. Unless you're buying a latte or an egg white, you better purchase a cake pop. Because if you don't get you a cake pop, you ain't sitting in Starbucks no more. They said no purchase, no table. No purchase, no restroom. Starbucks said you better get your credit card out, or else you better go find somewhere else to drain your lizard. What do you think it is, Bennett?
I got no problem with it. Like,
don't be coming in. Sit there. If you want to sit in here, look, I bought this place. I put tables in here. I put chairs in here. If you want to sit in here and enjoy my tables and my chairs and my Wi-Fi, I need you to buy an $8 coffee.
I mean, it's like if you just get like a regular coffee, it's like $3. It's not that much. I got no problem with it. I got no problem with it.
But what kind of nerd gets a regular coffee?
Me. I'll get a black coffee from Starbucks every now and again. Yeah.
No, man. It's got to be something that sounds better than that. What can I get started for you? Do you like the way they say that? They don't say, may I take your order? They say, what can I get started for you? They always want to start something for you.
I do like that. Yeah, it makes me feel good. It makes me not feel pressured. Like if I'm thinking about my order a little bit, like it makes me not feel like, oh God, I got to say it right away. I can think for a second,
How do you think they decided to do that? Because they could say the same thing to you at Arby's. They could be like, hey, welcome to Arby's. What do you want me to get started for you? And I'd be like beef and cheddar.
Yeah, what's the reason?
Sauce.
What's the reasoning behind it?
What happened? How do you think they decided this is what we're going to say?
What can I get
started for you? When people come to our drive-thru, this is what we're going to say. We're going to say, can I get something started for you? What can I get started for you? That's the other thing. They don't say, can I get something started for you? They're ready to. Hey, we don't need to talk too much. I know I'm going to start something for you. What do you want me to start for you? They don't say, can I start something for you? Because then you would say, yeah, of course. Then they'd have to say, what? Let's skip that first part.
Mm-hmm.
What can I get started for you? It's an interesting approach.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, Chick-fil-A has my pleasure. They say my pleasure after everything. You don't say thank you. You say my pleasure.
Is that true? I haven't noticed that one.
You haven't noticed that? You haven't seen the someone made a really funny TikTok of a Chick-fil-A employee saying thank you instead of my pleasure, and then like a car pulls up of like 2 CIA agents and they take him away. That's pretty good.
Enjoy it while you can. I think TikTok. I heard something's going on with that.
Oh yeah, it's going away on Sunday. I don't have a TikTok. My wife does. I don't have one. And now with all this going on, I kind of have FOMO. Like I should have gotten on board, but it sounds like it's going away on Sunday.
I think I have an account, but I've never posted. But I think Grind City and CBS post a lot of stuff on TikTok. So every once in a while, I go viral, but I'm totally unaware of it. I have no idea. It's
cool.
Like there's a whole world of 15-year-olds out there like talking about me on TikTok, but I am genuinely unaware. I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, and we do pretty good on TikTok, Grind City. So that big loss, man. Hopefully they get that all worked out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with the restroom thing. I don't like. I mean, God, it does as it's coming out of my. I was gonna say, that's for paying customers. That sounds like a grumpy old man thing to say, but.
Well, you are a grumpy old man, Bennett.
Yeah, I mean. I don't know what's like if you're gonna come,
I tell you this,
if you want to come use the restrooms there, buy a coffee.
I tell you this. Mm-hmm. Here's what I tell you. I don't even need this policy to be in effect for me, because I have forever felt obligated. If I am in a coffee shop,
same,
Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, down in DeSoto County, Coffee Central, shouts to Coffee Central. If I'm in a coffee shop, whether I want something or not, I walk to the counter and I purchase something, whether I want it or not. I have never sat in a coffee shop without purchasing something, because I think it's inappropriate behavior.
I think it's inappropriate behavior to just go hang out at Starbucks all day and not buy anything. I mean, they're not hurting for money, but like you know.
But somebody's like a little local coffee shop, like they might be living day to day, right?
Yeah, and if people just come in and hang out and don't buy anything, how do you survive?
How do you survive, Bennett?
Yeah.
In this economy, how do you survive? So I'm with Starbucks on this, and I'm with all coffee companies on this. If you walk into a coffee shop, before you sit down and start playing on your little TikToks, you should go purchase something. I would say something more than black coffee because that just seems cheap, I think. I would go a venti skinny vanilla latte.
Oh, that sounds pretty good, actually.
It's not that bad.
Hang on. Let me write that down.
Venti skinny.
Let me write that down.
Write that down.
Hang on. I'm gonna try that because I like that. You know, I told you like I'm not. I treat my coffee and I like just straight up black coffee. Like I'm just drinking a black coffee right now. But I like a little treat. I like a little treat as well. What's this thing called?
A venti skinny vanilla latte.
Okay.
Write that down. Draw a little unicorn next to it.
Okay. All right. I got it. I like that.
Bennett, I'll send you a little Starbucks card. I want you to enjoy one of them. I want you to have a treat on me.
That'd be nice, man. I like that, this time of year, because they got all the Christmas drinks and stuff, or pumpkin spice, all that. That's all gone now, right? Like the holidays are over. Now they're doing the pistachio latte, and I really like that. I really like that one because it's not too sweet. It's just it's just got a little kick to it, but it's not too sweet.
I like a little kick.
I like a little kick, but not too sweet. Not too sweet.
I noticed the chat is suggesting that perhaps this policy change at Starbucks is directed at the homeless. Do you think this is directed at the homeless?
I mean, it probably is, GP. It probably is.
I will tell you this. There's a Starbucks right downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Just like go out my front door, take a left.
Mm-hmm.
You like the Ed Sullivan Theater, Late Show with Stephen Colbert is right here, and directly across the street is a Starbucks.
Yeah.
And when I want to get a venti skinny vanilla latte, that is where I go. And I will tell you, Bennett, that there have been times where I was like, I need to just get out of the room and just work. Because, like, it ain't healthy to just be sitting in a hotel room for 2 weeks by yourself.
Right, yeah.
This is not good for me, all right? No. I know that. So every once in a while, I'm like, I just need to get out of here. And go sit somewhere else and just honestly be around people, like see real people. Maybe have somebody say, hey, how you doing? Like, I need to be out of this room. And I'll go to that Starbucks. And I can't sit there, and you want to know why? And I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm not trying to be whatever. I'm just telling you the truth. Mm-hmm. It's uncomfortable to sit there and try to work because it's filled with homeless people.
That does sound a little elitist.
But like I'm talking about, you could be sitting there working, like I'm trying to rank 26 basketball teams, and a fella will just come in and lay down right next to me.
Yeah, I mean that would make me feel a little weird too.
I mean, I'm sitting like I sit down in this seat. I'm sitting right here, and I'm ranking 26 basketball teams, and a fella will come in, and I know he's doing the best he can, and buddy, it's cold outside.
Yeah, sure.
If I were him, I'd do the same thing, but I'm not him, and I'm trying to rank basketball teams, and it's just kind of a little awkward. You're just sitting here, and I'm like, I got my venti skinny vanilla latte, and I got my computer, and then a fella, he just lays down, puts his head like nearly on your lap. It's tough. It's a weird thing.
That's weird. And I mean, that's what homeless shelters are for, correct? Like,
I hope so.
I mean, I would hope so. In a perfect world, right? Well, in a perfect world, we wouldn't have homeless people. How about that?
Man, you know what? How about not even a perfect world, just a better one?
Just in a better world, we wouldn't have homelessness.
I don't even think we'd have to be perfect. Just be better. Just care a little more.
Yeah.
Just be a little more compassionate.
But at the same time,
here I am trying to get them out of Starbucks. So maybe I'm not the best. Maybe I'm not the best messenger here. I would like to end homelessness, but not at Starbucks. But while I'm trying to work.
Okay, can't we agree? It's not Starbucks' job to shelter the homeless.
Oh, I think if there's one thing we can agree on, it's that it's not Starbucks' job to shelter the homeless.
Yeah.
I think if there's one thing in this world we could agree on, it should be that.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. I saw some people were very up in arms about this. Some people were really not happy about this. I don't really see that big of an issue with it.
You wouldn't go sit at the Rendezvous all day and not order
food. They'd kick you out.
They would, yes, and they would yell at you. They would actually verbally accost you.
Yes.
All right, so this is like, just apply this logic to anywhere else. You wouldn't even consider going to Rendezvous and sitting down for 3 hours without ordering anything. Like, it's incomprehensible. If it wouldn't even pop into your head to do that, and if it popped into one of your friends' heads, you would say, "That's stupid. What? You can't do that. Stop being ridiculous." Like if one of your friends said, "Hey, let's go. I hear they got Wi-Fi at the Rendezvous. Let's go to the Rendezvous and just sit there." Okay, cool. But I'm not really that hungry. Oh, neither am I. We're not going to eat. We're not going to buy anything. We're just going to sit at the Rendezvous for 3 hours. Well, no, you can't do that.
No, you can't.
Okay, then why do you think you can do it at Starbucks?
I know.
I'm mad that Starbucks even has to tell you. I'm mad that Starbucks even has to send out a message that says you can't do this no more. You shouldn't have been doing it in the first place.
That's right.
You want to sit at Starbucks, you buy something.
Yeah, it's that simple.
And that goes for people with homes and without homes.
Yes, absolutely.
With homes and without homes. If you want to sit in Starbucks, you need to buy something. Yeah. I approve of the policy change.
Number 4.
We got football coaching beef in the AAC.
I saw this.
Bennett, you sent this to me.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what's happening here? What's going on with these football
okay,
coaches?
so Trent Dilfer, I guess, was on like a local radio show. I guess it was in Birmingham. I don't know. And, they didn't have a really good season, right?
Yeah.
In fact, they had a pretty terrible season.
Yeah.
And so anyways, he's talking about the current state of NIL, all right? And he basically, his quote was, "In our conference, again, not going to use specific schools, we have 2 teams that will go to our roster and sign double or triple what these guys can make on our roster and make them backups on their roster so that we can't have them on our team." And so obviously, if you're thinking of like who's got the best NIL budgets in the AAC, you would assume University of Memphis is right there at the top. And then John Sumrall, the coach of Tulane, quote tweeted it and did like the eye emojis, like the looking emojis, and put Ryan Silverfield and Coach Golish, the coach at South Florida. So yeah, we got a little beef going on with these AAC coaches, which the Tulane thing is weird because I would have assumed that Tulane was one of the schools that Trent Dilfer was talking about there, and not South Florida. Because
he might be. That might be John Sumrall saying like, "Hey, look, Ryan, look, USF, they talking about us, ha 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 ha." He could just be like, he's talking about us. It's me and you and USF as well. You think?
But
that's
he
what's
said
going on?
2 teams.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
that's
he said 2 teams specifically. So I wonder if it's Sumrall, like, I don't know, like maybe he's getting at, maybe Tulane doesn't have one of the biggest. I thought Tulane did have one of the biggest NIL budgets in the AAC. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is. These 3 coaches, Tulane, Memphis, USF, they probably like each other on some level and don't like Trent Dilfer on some level. And so this is their way.
Yeah.
They're probably doing this in a group text before they took it to X, right?
Yeah, I mean, look.
And I would forget that Trent Dilfer existed if he would just shut up.
Dude, they, as of right now, he's still the coach at UAB, right? Like, that's kind of wild considering the season.
Every time I think about Trent Dilfer, it's because he just said something ridiculous.
Something wild. No, I mean, listen, you've talked about this. You talked about it a couple weeks ago with the Colorado State coach. Like, this is college sports. I mean, this is definitely college football and college basketball. Like, players are getting paid to play for these schools, and the schools with the biggest NIL budgets are getting the best players. So Trent Dilfer bitching about it, fine, but it's not going to change your circumstance, dude. Like, you should be bitching at your school. Don't bitch at the schools that are getting good players. Like, get mad at your athletic department.
Get your money up, you broke bitch.
Get your money up. Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know why he's going after us. Like, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
And there is no way that's true that Memphis is going and getting players that could start for UAB and making them backups just so they wouldn't play at a rival school. Like, give me a break. That's total BS. He's just making that up.
It seems exaggerated.
Yes.
Perhaps his point is true, but that seems exaggerated. It's one thing to be at UAB and accurately note that you don't have the same resources as Auburn and Alabama, but you're in the AAC. These are your conference brethren, And if you can't compete with them from an NIL perspective, that's a UAB problem. That's not a Memphis problem.
Right.
That's not a USF problem. That's not a Tulane problem. That's a UAB problem, and that's a Trent Dilfer problem. So, Trent Dilfer should be more focused on doing more with what he has so that he can convince the people who are providing him with what he has to give him more. Like, instead of complaining about it on a radio show in Birmingham, you should be sitting with the money people connected to your program, connected to your university, and rather than complaining about it on a radio show, saying, guys, hey, listen, we all care about this thing. We all want this to be good. I don't know if everybody here understands what I'm up against right now. Like, once upon a time, I gather in college football, yeah, maybe you could get things done under the table, but as long as you were operating within the rule book, like, I just had to out-recruit the Memphis coach and the Tulane coach and the USF coach, scholarship for scholarship. Now let's see who can create the best relationship, who can create the best opportunities, who can create the type of atmosphere this young man would prefer to play in. But that's not what I'm up against anymore. Now I can win every one of those battles, but if I don't have the money to go with it, I'm going to lose the fight.
Yeah.
We got to get up to par. Do you want me to compete with Memphis, Tulane, and USF? If not, tell me that, and I'll relax. Like, if you don't care if I'm competing at the top of the league, tell me that, and I'll relax. But what I gather is you guys want me to compete for a conference championship here. We're investing in the program. Well, we need to invest more or I can't do it. I'm getting embarrassed out there in the transfer portal. I think I'm in good with a linebacker, and then Memphis comes in and, boom, buys him out from underneath me. I think I'm in good with a running back. Then USF comes in and buys him out from underneath me. So what kind of football program do we want to have? You tell me, but I'm telling you we can't have the one you guys I think you want unless we put some more money behind it. That's much more effective than going on a radio show and being like, there's 2 teams in our league that are buying up my players.
Yeah.
Get your money up, you broke bitch. Get your money up. Enough. This is 2025 college football. You don't complain about money, you fundraise it.
Number 5.
Fire Aid is coming to Los Angeles. Better
that
late
is
than
not
never.
the name of it.
It's called Fire Aid.
Is it really called Fire Aid?
Fire Aid Relief after Farm Aid. Fire Aid Relief. Look, Kyra's showing it to you right now.
Okay. It's catchy.
Fire Aid.
I guess that's fine.
Think of Farm Aid, except for instead of Farm for Farmers, we're raising money for Southern California residents who have, in some cases, lost everything.
Is that what Farm Aid was about? They were raising money for farmers back then? That was like the late 80s, right?
I hope so. Otherwise, it was a terrible name.
Yeah, and I mean, like, God, we've abandoned. We used to have massive concerts for our farmers. Now we just abandon them.
Well, Bennett,
we never talk about the farmers.
Well, I think Willie still does.
Willie does. Okay. Yeah. Well, he's up there, man.
Oh man, once they lose him, once the farmers lose Willie, it's over. Yeah. Nobody else cares about you anymore.
No.
Willie Nelson's the only dude who ever cared about you, and God bless him, but. We just lost President Carter.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody ain't nobody lasts forever.
No.
Once they lose President Willie, it could get tough for the farmers. But I'm assuming Farm Aid was for the farmers. Otherwise, just an awful name.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you imagine be like, okay, we're starting a benefit concert. What's it called? Farm Aid. Oh, cool. Who's it going to benefit? Farmers? No. Accountants. What? What? It wouldn't make any sense, right? That would be called.
It wouldn't make sense.
CPA aid, perhaps.
Yeah.
Accountant aid. This is Fire Aid. I'm assuming. I know. It's not even. I know. This is to rebuild communities devastated by the wildfires. January 30th. Originally going to be at the Intuit Dome. I think I read they're now considering moving it to the Kia Forum. Either way, it will be in the Los Angeles area. Reportedly, they've already had more than 50 acts say, we want to be a part of this. We want to help our home. Mostly LA-based acts, people who grew up in California or Southern California. They only have 24 slots, so it'll be a selection process, almost like a draft. Like you got 50 people wanting to be picked, but they can only pick 24. It's almost like a draft, like a Fire Aid draft. You looking forward to the Fire Aid draft?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see who's a part of it. I mean, I would assume Kendrick's a part of it, right?
I don't think you can go perform a week before the Super Bowl.
Oh, I didn't realize that's when it was. Okay, yeah, he's probably going to be rehearsing.
I just think probably the Super Bowl doesn't want you performing a week before you're about to have this big performance at the Super Bowl. I think that probably from a time perspective, you're pretty consumed with the Super Bowl right now. Plus, there's a double album that's expected to get released at some point.
Yeah,
he probably has too much on his plate. The NFL would probably not like him being that visible.
Fair enough.
Before he is on the biggest stage that they provide. So I would assume he's not. Reportedly, Taylor and Beyonce also not going to be involved, even though they have LA homes. They're not really LA natives. They're definitely not LA natives. But big stars. Think of big stars with LA roots. Those are the people who are expected to be involved. More than 50 different acts, entertainers, according to TMZ, have already reached out saying, we want to be involved. Tell us where to be. Tell us what to do. We'll be there. But they're going to dwindle it down to 24 with a lineup expected to be announced soon. It will be streamed live and raise millions and millions of dollars for a part of the country that clearly needs it. I mean, I think everybody's been following it on some level.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, I thought Michael East put it in a way that at least helped me visualize it yesterday. Like, I'm sitting in the middle of Manhattan. Imagine if none of this just existed anymore.
Right.
All of this. That's what happened in California. Like, a big chunk of it, the size of Manhattan, is just gone. All the homes, all the buildings, all the everything. It's just gone. The size of Manhattan, the size of New York City has been wiped off the face of the earth in Los Angeles. It's insane.
Yeah, it really is. Like, and just like, see, I like this morning, they're talking. Adam Scott and Ben Stiller were on talking about the new season of Severance on the Today Show, and they're LA residents, and Adam Scott was just like, oh yeah, my in-laws both lost everything, lost their homes. It's just like, damn. Like, and I told you about my friend who lives in LA. There was a ton of people who lost their homes. It's bad. It's bad.
Bad. Yeah. So just heartbreaking to see. When things like this happen, are celebrities who, a portion of this country loves to beat up on all the time. Well, they do tend to come through for us, in these times and do what they can, whether it's after 9/11 or after Katrina or after flooding, earthquakes, now these wildfires in California. They do tend to step up and try to do whatever they can to help. And this will be a big example of that. Again, Fire Aid coming to Los Angeles January 30th with acts to be announced at a later date. Be back with GP's Carryout.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering, to those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. I'm in New York. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis inside the Built Ford Tough Studio, FedEx Forum. Let's wrap this show up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Well, Bennett, I told you yesterday that we'd be monitoring the situation in Philadelphia with the Eagles fan who was calling the Packers fan a woman during a playoff game this past weekend, who was calling her both ugly and the C word that rhymes with blunt. I told you we're going to monitor the situation, but I bet you old fella ain't going to have a job much longer. Oh, it's been announced by BCT Partners, a consulting firm that specializes in DEI services and solutions. They announced the move last night. Project manager Ryan Caldwell, he's been terminated.
So what do you know, there's kind of been this like pushback now of people saying we don't know the whole story. You know, this guy just happens to have his camera out and is filming this. What was said before the guy starts berating them and calling her the C word and stuff like that. I think that regardless of what she said to you, like you can't just do that. And I think that's when you gotta like take the high road, dude. You know?
I don't want to say there's nothing that this woman could have said to this man before the camera started rolling that would have reasonably resulted in this man saying what he said to this woman. Perhaps there's something out there that I can't think of right now.
Right.
But I would find it hard to think of something that would have made me watch that video and go, yeah, well, the guy's got a point.
Right. I completely agree. I just don't buy that. Like I listen, it's crazy that like, you know, one bad moment you can lose everything, but like don't have a bad moment like that, dude. Like that's a pretty bad moment to have on camera.
Yeah, that's why when I go to sporting events, I don't talk to people. I just sort of like, you know, I don't really engage folks so much. And I think this is probably why. Some of it's probably personality driven, but some of it's just like every time I jump on the internet and people are engaging each other, it just gets real weird out there sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to keep to myself. There could be the ugliest Packers fan in the world sitting right next to me at a game. I ain't going to say a word about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. So Ryan Caldwell, can you imagine how stupid you must feel to lose your career and your reputation because you was yelling at a football game?
Yeah.
People are. What a wild fella. All right. Well, we wished him a lack of success in his future endeavors. And so far, our wishes are coming true.
Yeah.
So far, our wishes are coming true. All right, good.
What's today's biggest game?
College basketball, Bennett. I'm taking you to the college basketball hardwood where you had no success at all last night.
I'm not doing good at this.
You're not doing good at anything. Number 9, Kansas at number 2, Iowa State. It's in Hilton Coliseum, Ames, Iowa. 2 top 10 teams, perhaps the 2 best teams in the Big 12. Iowa State minus 6.5. Totals 143.5. Tip at 6 o'clock Central, ESPN2. How you going to act?
You know, I don't know a lot about either of these teams. I mean, is it? God, Iowa State's got some nice wins too. Shoot.
Lone loss is to number 1 Auburn by a bucket.
6.5. How's Bill Self doing these days?
Oh, he's doing pretty good. Last time I saw him, he seemed to be doing pretty good. He's lost a little weight. Looks healthy. Looks good.
He got a team that can compete for it all this year?
Yes, they were preseason number 1, but Bennett, they've been a little disappointing, although they are still ranked 9th in the country.
I'm going to take the pedigree. Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to double down on last night saying that Mississippi State-Auburn game was going to be competitive and Mississippi State was going to hang in there till the end, which they did not at all. But that's why they're Mississippi State and not Kansas. Kansas, pedigree, championship mentality. It's going to be a tight game. Give me the Jayhawks, Rock Chalk.
Somebody doesn't believe in Hilton Magic. Wow. What a wild time to just decide you don't believe in Hilton Magic. When Iowa State's sitting here at 14-1, ranked 2nd in the country, 4-0 in the Big 12, and you just decided you don't believe in Hilton Magic. That's a wild thing to do.
But it's also, listen, man, if it gets a little tight, I think you start to see that jersey on the other side, that Kansas jersey, that legendary uniform, and I think it might, maybe your booty hole gets a little bit tight.
Okay, if you don't believe in Hilton Magic, hold on. Let me just want to get a voice memo of this, Bennett. If you don't believe in Hilton Magic, I'm going to send this to my friends up in Ames, Iowa.
I like those people. They're good people. I partied with them at the Liberty Bowl. They're good people down there in Ames. But
go ahead. Just speak right into the microphone. If you don't believe in Hilton Magic, this would be the time to say
hello to all my friends down in Ames. Congratulations on an amazing season. Missed you guys. Hopefully we'll get to see you at the Liberty Bowl again someday. But unfortunately tonight I'm going to roll with the Kansas Jayhawks to cover. Championship mentality, pedigree. It's going to be a tight game. I think you guys can pull this one out, but I'm going to go Jayhawks to cover.
Oh, geez. I'm glad you finally wrapped that up. I don't know how much space I got left on this phone.
Sorry.
You're my new recording number 46. I've got 45 previous recordings on this thing. I don't even know what they are.
Yeah, all we're going Jayhawks.
All right, Bennett doesn't believe in Hilton Magic, even though Iowa State's 14-1, 4-0 in the Big 12, undefeated at home. He's decided that he doesn't believe in Hilton Magic. Kansas plus the 6.5, that's his play.
What are we watching on TV?
Can I interest you in Mayfair Witches?
Mayfair Witches.
Mayfair Witches. It's Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches, or simply Mayfair Witches. It's an American supernatural horror thriller drama television series.
Okay, Anne Rice, she's a famous author, right?
Yeah,
I think a ton of books. Yeah,
lots of them.
Where is this? Where can I consume Mayfair Witches?
Netflix.
Okay.
Starring. Let's see if this perks you up.
Okay.
Starring Alexandra Daddario.
Who's that?
Oh, you'll know her when you see her.
Hang on. Let me.
Oh, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about, buddy.
Alexandra. Oh, there she is. Okay, hang on.
Wait till this comes back. You gonna know who you gonna know this woman.
Yeah, from White Lotus.
Woo!
Yeah, I remember her.
True Detective.
True Detective as well. She's a good actress. I like her. Okay.
The best actress.
Maybe this has some potential.
Maybe the best actress. I don't know how to say it without just saying it. All right. I don't know how to say it without just saying it. I'm just telling you a story, okay? Here's the story. When I was walking through Times Square the other day, I noticed my billboard. She has one right next to mine. Alexandra Daddario has a billboard right next to mine. Like you can stand in Times Square and you can go, who would I rather look at? GP or Alexandra Daddario? And I think most people pick Alexandra Daddario, but like who wouldn't? I would too.
That is kind of cool for you though. Like, I mean, if you want people to look and see your billboard, like that's a pretty good billboard to have right next to it. You're getting some exposure, man.
I think I'm getting some exposure. Do you think Alexandra Daddario has ever been like, it's kind of wild that I got a billboard right next to GP's? You think she's ever said that?
Probably not, but maybe she saw the billboard and was like, hey, who's that?
Who is that?
I'd like to believe that there's a world.
I think 99.999999999% of the people who see that billboard are like, who is that? I think that's almost true across the board. I don't think you understand how stupid it is that there's a billboard of me in Times Square.
I don't think it's stupid. Where is this show, by the way? Are you sure this came out today?
Mayfair Witches, it's on Netflix.
Mayfair. I'm trying to find it. I want to see like a picture of it or something. Let's see. There it is.
Mayfair Witches. It says it's right here. It showed up on my Netflix. She's got a billboard right next to my billboard.
This is looking a little.
It's Alexandra Daddario. Did you watch True Detective? How about
this? She was great.
How about this? Ask Woody Harrelson if he would watch it. Ask Woody Harrelson what he thinks of Alexandra Daddario.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. This is an AMC property that Netflix is airing, and so they did the Interview with the Vampire series, which was Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. This is like I guess it's not a spinoff, but I guess trying to bottle up some of that magic from Interview with the Vampire. That's what I think is going on here. Anne Rice is like the vampire author, I guess.
Do you want to watch Alexandra Daddario or not? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I might. I like Interview with the Vampire. And I never watched the show, but I like the movie. So maybe I'll give this a shot. I like vampire stuff. I went and saw Nosferatu last week. Like, I like vampire shit.
Okay, well, it doesn't sound like it. It hasn't sounded like it today.
Yeah, I'm in. I'll watch Mayfair Witches, at least for 15 minutes.
That might be all you need, buddy.
It won't take that long.
It might be all it takes. What do you mean? Well, hold on. What did you mean by that?
Nothing at all. I'm just talking.
What are you trying to say?
All right, I gotta go. Let's move on.
You sound like you got your mind on a horse nostril.
Saying too much today. I'm talking too much.
You sound like you got your mind on a horse nostril, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
Hey, here's what we're reading. Sam Vecini, I told you he's got his rookie rankings over at The Athletic / New York Times. It's all under the same umbrella now. Jalen Wells, number 1. Zach Edey, number 2. The top 2 rookies in Sam Vecini's rookie rankings are both Memphis Grizzlies. You can read it at The Athletic or nytimes.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's going to be Thursday. You know how much I love Thursdays. We're going to look back at Grizz Spurs, get ready for Memphis Temple. Mike Wallace going to join me in the first hour. Should be a fun show. Looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. We'll meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good, rep your hood.